All right, what we're going to do now is multiply real numbers. To multiply real numbers, you just multiply straight across. So you don't cross multiply, you multiply straight across. So negative 1 times 4 is a negative 4, and positive 3 times 7 is 21, and reduce this if needed. And so there's the multiplication. Notice I attached the negative sign to the top number, and the bottom stays positive. So same thing I'm going to do on this problem. I'm going to multiply the negative 1 times 2, which gives me a negative 2, 5 times 3, which is 15, and I have my answer. Inverse just simply means flipping. So what we want to be able to do is flip the fraction. So we must have a fraction to be able to flip. So if I have 5, it's really 5 over 1, and if I flip it, I get 1 over 5. So there is my inverse. If it's already a fraction, all you have to do is flip it over, and if you have 1 on the bottom, it's really 3. That's the inverse. So negative 4 is just a negative 4 over 1. Now notice the negative stays with the 4, but I'm going to change it to the top number, but I don't get rid of it. So the negative stays in the problem. So this is my inverse. So once again, I go negative 4 over 5. I flip it, negative 5 over 4, and so I have my inverse. The negative stays. We don't do the opposite, we're just doing the flipping. There are two types of division of real numbers. One is when you just have a fraction. In a fraction, it just means divide 8 by negative 2. So in your calculator, if you divide that, you'll get a negative 4. But when you have two fractions, we have to go through the process. And the process is keep, change to multiplication, and flip the next number. So now that's why we need to know inverses. So now I have a negative 3 times a negative 9, which is a positive 27 over 9, and this can be reduced, so we get our answer of 3. Once again, this is just a calculator problem, and so when you do that in your calculator, you get a negative 5.2. Now, when you have 0 in the numerator, the answer is 0. If it's in the denominator, you can't do it. So if you press that in your calculator, you will get 0. No matter what the bottom number is, it's always 0. So there's our division, keep, change, flip, as well as just a regular fraction, which is also a division problem. All right, the first one we're going to do is use this formula. And the N stands for the number years after 1989. In this case, we want to know 2003, so that's 14 years. So our formula is negative 0.28 times 14 plus 47. And when we do the math in our calculator, we will get the answer of 43.08. So that will be the average year of a man with a bachelor's degree. So continuing with answering the question, this in comparison to what it says in the model is 43, so it overestimates by 0.08%. Now if we look at our next one, in this example, and I'm going to do B down here, it wants a ratio, and a ratio means create a fraction. So it wants the ratio of men, which is negative 0.28 n plus 47, over women, which is 0.28 n plus 53. And so once we have this ratio, we want to know, so for C, we want to know if we use this ratio, what we get for women and men at 2014. Which happens to be 25 years over. So if we substitute the 25 years over into our ratio, 0.28, 25, plus 53, we get a negative 7 plus 47, and we get 7 plus 53, which gives us the answer of 40 over 60, and so our ratio is 40 men, 60 women, which really is 2/3 is our ratio. And so if you look at this number at the chart, we have it right here, that we have 60 to 40 is the ratio in the chart as well as this formula. So it is actual, these are the same, and so that's a good thing.